Yeah, hey, okay, I'm fresh up out the package. Sign my deal, I pay my dues. Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping off just an unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trillion. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound. Got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron. Better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life. Don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you right. Real all in my blood supply. Get ball up top, finna make a play. I catch the lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice and I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know, co-sign and no co-pilot. They peptides, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everybody who's in the building. We back in play. It's good to see y'all. Hopefully y'all been doing good. I know y'all crypto wallets have been doing good. If you can hear me and everything looks and sounds good, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things are looking and sounding kind of bad, please give me a thumbs down. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early. All right. Shout out to my man Carlton Way. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to my man Ryan Glenn. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show my man AB Promotions some love for standing on business for 19 months. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Shout out to my man Fantizzy. Shout out to L12. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to AB again. Make sure y'all show AB some love for the ducats. Shout out to AB for the ducats. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Make sure y'all throw some liking forces in the chat for my man L12. Shout out to my man Win Loser Rug. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to my man Detroit 313. What's good with you? All right, so we rich folks stream. Facts, bro. Rich folks stream, bro. All my riches You know, YouTube be hating, so you got to blank out the curse words. Look at them. Then look at us. All these cryptos looking rich as, you know what I'm saying? Right? You got to blank out the swear words, though, because YouTube don't be on it, man. Then you got the little haters. You know what I'm saying? The little haters. You know what I'm saying? The little haters gonna hate. Let them hate. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about. All right. First thing we're gonna talk about is we're gonna talk about what I've been saying as far as the crypto index, as far as the stocks go. All right. We got to come up with the top 10 treasury stocks, label that bad boy the treasury index. That's what we're looking at. We're gonna compare that against the S&P 500. All right. Global de-dollarization. You know what I'm saying? It's happening rapidly. It's not just YouTubers saying it. You got Larry Fink from BlackRock saying it. You got Standard Chartered saying it. You got all these people saying it. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. Every day it's breaking records. Now, check this out, right? If you ask me, and I went over this a while ago, Bitcoin does not behave like other cryptocurrencies. If you ask me, the overall it's not the crypto market that's doing great. You know what I'm saying? The crypto market in itself is not doing great, if you ask me. I don't think there's any other cryptocurrencies right now that are at even above 80% of the all-time high. Bitcoin right now, if I'm not mistaken, is at about like 96% of the all-time high. Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken, it might be around maybe like 55% of the all-time high, right? Possibly. I could be high on that number, right? But if you ask me, Bitcoin is starting to diverge away from the other cryptocurrencies. The market cap is getting too big. Other cryptocurrencies are not looked at as safe haven assets. Bitcoin is. If Bitcoin is looked at as a safe haven asset, it would seem like Bitcoin would start to have a pattern where it might move slightly opposite of other risk, quote unquote, risk on assets, because you can't really say that Bitcoin is a risk on asset if they're now classifying it as a quote unquote safe haven. Right. So if you ask me, you need to take Bitcoin out of the cryptocurrency, analysis and compare it against other commodities and let Ethereum take the place of Bitcoin and start comparing the cryptocurrency market against Ethereum capitalization. Right. I've been saying this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Win Lose a Rug. Yeah, Win Lose a Rug said altcoin season was a 2-day event. Shout out to AB Promotions. Yep, it's only Bitcoin. Bro, facts. Most of us have Bitcoin, right? We have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the Michael Jordan of the cryptocurrency world right now. It's the MJ. You know what I'm saying? It's carrying the team. The other cryptocurrencies are not doing great. Solana's under 200. Bitcoin is under Ethereum is under 3,000. If you ask me right now, Bitcoin and SuiSwap are probably doing the best. You know what I'm saying? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, then give me a thumbs down. And you don't have to take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take a look at what some of these professionals have to say. All right? We're going to take a look at what some of these professionals have to say. Bitcoin hit a record high. Here's why. So ABC News, they got it for us. ABC News is going to tell us why Bitcoin hit the all-time high. Yeah, shout out to Win Lose a Rug. Facts. XRP is under $3. Now, we know that XRP's all-time high was what? I want to say like close to $3.80, almost $4. It's not even at $4. You know what I'm saying? XRP, we supposed to have $5 XRP. We're going to have $5 SuiSwap before we have $5 XRP. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin surged to a record high on Thursday, vaulting more than 3% in early trading and hurtling past 110,000 for the first time. The price of Bitcoin stood at $111,385 on Thursday, extending a sharp rise that stretches back to the November election of President Donald Trump, a cryptocurrency supporter and investor, actually a cryptocurrency flip-flopper. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, bro, pump them prices for us. Right? Go ahead and pump them prices for us. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Gaslight crypto the way you gaslight the rest of the United States. We'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency, jumped 6%. The Trump meme coin, a crypto launched by the president in January, increased nearly 6%. Now, we got to talk about Diddy. We got to talk about Diddy. How many people heard about the Diddy meme coin? If you guys heard about if you heard about the Diddy meme coin, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to DC Precise. I think it was either DC Precise or Carlton, or it might be John Guillory. It could have been Win, Lose, or Rug. Somebody put it in the Discord about the meme, about the Diddy meme coin. Right? When the trial started, the Diddy meme coin went up like to $120 million market cap. And then they said, like, within, I guess once some of that evidence got out, then it crashed back down to like 36, you know what I'm saying, $36 million, like all within 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Carl just said that wasn't me. Bro, you know that was you. Stop playing. You know that was you. Stop playing. Shout out to Whittler's Rug. Whittler's Rug said, I saw that. I was dead. Bro, I was crying laughing. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, they said, take that, take that, take that. You know what I'm saying? They did. They took them profits and bounced. They took them profits and bounced. So I'm about to see if I can find the article real quick. Diddy coin. Diddy coin crashes. Oh man, it was even in decrypt. You know what I'm saying? It was even in decrypt. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I got it. I got it right here. Hold on, real quick. We about to take a look at it real quick, man. That's that's hilarious, man. Look at this. This is that stupid stuff, right? So people would take this and be like, cryptocurrency is a scam. Man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Diddy meme coin touches $180 million as mogul's trial began. He like, yeah, take that. I'm about to take these profits. You know what I'm saying? The official Diddy meme soared to $181 million market cap before eventually crashing to $32 million. That's just, you just dumb. You know what I'm saying? that's just dumb. You know what I'm saying? Why would anybody buy the Diddy coin? Why would you do it?
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Like, you can't make it up, man. You know what I'm saying? You cannot make it up. But anyway, let's get back to Bitcoin. All-time high, right? It just keep hitting the all-time highs, right? All the way up. Right? So now here it says a surge in the value of some cryptocurrencies in recent days followed a Senate vote to advance the Genius Act, an industry-backed bill that aims to regulate some digital currency. All right. The measure establishes rules targeting stablecoins, a type of cryptocurrency pegged to the value of another asset, often the US dollar. Now, let me ask you guys this. If the US dollar is not doing very well, shout out to Miss Niecy. What's good with it, Miss Niecy? Make sure y'all show Miss Niecy some love. I appreciate you. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Miss Niecy for standing on business for 20 months. Definitely appreciate you.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Now, think about that, right? I want y'all to think about that. What now, if you ask me, right? You know, the poop coins, right? You know what they say rhymes with the hit coins, right? That's what US dollar stable coins are, in my opinion. Now, you know, they're good to use like as exchange coins, if you ask me. good to invest in companies like Tether, not investment advice, just saying they buy Bitcoin. You know, that's what we about, right? But what you think about all this stablecoin stuff? If the stablecoin, the asset that the stablecoin is pegged to is the United States dollar, and the United States dollar is not doing well, from an investment standpoint, who cares? Right? Like who cares about the stable coins? You know what I mean? It's just kind of an interesting thing. If enacted, the bill could allow such crypto coins to become a mainstream tool for digital payments and other financial instruments, setting the stage for an influx of investment in digital currency. Critics say the measure fails to address the conflict of interest concerns exemplified by Trump. Trump about to make himself like one of the richest people in the world messing with crypto. And it risks endangering consumers and the wider economy with a weak set of restrictions. Trump, who also backs a cryptocurrency firm, World Liberty Financial, has denied any wrongdoing involving his crypto ventures. All right. The record high for Bitcoin also coincides with a spike in treasury yields amid the deficit concerns centered on a domestic policy bill passed by the U.S. House on Thursday. Now, do you guys remember when we did the last live stream? You guys remember that? When we talked about the treasury bonds, what was going on with the treasury bonds? Shout out to my man, Win Lose a Rug. I appreciate you, bro. Win Lose a Rug said, meanwhile, that wealth gap. Right. Well, you know what I'm saying? You know what the young blood said? We don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn. We don't give a F, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? We don't give a damn. Go and throw it up. Hey, shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you standing on business for 18 months.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, the new wealth gap is going to be the wealth gap between everybody else and us. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the new wealth gap. You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think about this issue with the treasury yields? The record high for Bitcoin also coincides with a spike in treasury yields amid deficit concerns centered on a domestic policy bill passed by the U.S. House on Thursday. Now, things haven't gotten any better for the United States, right? Because Moody's just downgraded them from a AAA rating, which I think is the best rating that you could have, to a AA1 rating, which, you know, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But it's not a AAA rating, and a downgrade, regardless, is never good, right? Because that downgrade signifies a downgrade in credibility, which means that there's a possibility that you might not be able to pay back your loans. You know what I'm saying? That Moody's, that Moody's rating, that is similar to a credit to it. Well, it is a credit rating. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you had an 800, now you went down to a 700. You know, even though you got 700 and that's good credit, it still looks bad. Creditors going to look at that because then they're going to say, well, how fast is it going down? What's the likelihood of these obligations being able to be paid off? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office on Tuesday found the tax policies backed by Trump would add $3.8 trillion to the national debt. The finding comes days after a U.S. credit downgrade at Moody's, in part due to the country's deficit. Now, let me ask y'all this question. What happens when the United States starts not being able to pay back its loans, aka its bonds? What happens then? Now, why would BlackRock put out a memorandum that says things are changing? During these times of uncertainty, trust us with your money to place it into assets that maintain your wealth. You guys remember that when we read that? When they said that, what were they talking about? What assets were they talking about? Yeah, you start to trigger an economic cascade. You will go into hyperinflation, a balance of payment crisis. There'll be run on banks, people dumping the assets. We saw that earlier this year with the bonds being dumped. It'll set off a huge cascade of events, all of which leading to a low-valued dollar. Shout out to my man DJ Elmo. What's good with it, bro? Yeah, shout out to AB. Hyperinflation. Right, we talked about all this. Not even in the context of crypto. We talked about this in terms of other things as well, right? Higher yields increase the cost of U.S. borrowing and add strain to the nation's finance. In theory, investors may seek out alternatives to the dollar as debt yields face upward pressure. Now, here's my question to y'all. Where are the investors going? We all know this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is shout out to y'all for being here. But like I said, it gets to the point where it's the same stream all the time, right? It gets to the point where it's the same stream, it's the same video all the time. Where is all of this going, ladies and gentlemen? Where are we headed with all this? Brian Armour, the director of passive strategies research at financial firm Morningstar, attributed the recent rise in the price of Bitcoin to both industry regulation and bond market fears. Now, do you guys remember when I did that live stream and I said there's no such thing as a risk-free asset? You guys remember that? How many people remember that? There's no such thing as a risk-free asset. And we did that whole thing on the live stream. You guys remember that? This is what I'm saying, man. This is one of the reasons why I don't really be YouTubing all like that anymore. My content is completely unappreciated. Not by the people that be here, but by the wider world. We talked about this. We talked about this. Here it is in real time. Now, just because I'm saying bonds are not necessarily risk-free, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin is risk-free, right? That doesn't mean that Bitcoin is risk-free. No asset is risk-free. Anytime there's human psychology that is a driver of price action, buying and selling, nothing is risk-free. There's always an element of uncertainty, despite the fact that patterns can be observed, right? Which also supports the fact that no asset is risk-free. Now, let me ask you guys this question. If bonds, government bonds, T-bills, if those are supposed to be risk-free and people are leaving those and going into Bitcoin, what does that say about Bitcoin? That's my question. Does it say that it's a scam? We're going to go into that more as well. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. Y'all know what to do. Smash that like button if you haven't. If you haven't, make sure that you share. If you're not part of the Discord, hit the link that's pinned in the chat. All right. I suspect it's a mix of regulatory adoption and fear of the dollar, given the expectation of high government spending, Amor said. The price of Bitcoin has surged about 40% since the presidential election. What does that mean? That means that if you had to put in $100 when Trump got elected or before, you would now have $140. That's what that means. Now, they mentioned the S&P 500. Remember, we talked about Bitcoin starting to break away from the S&P 500 and having more stability than the S&P 500. You guys remember we talked about that? Shout out to my man Ryan. Ryan says either confidence in the U.S. is that bad or they see Bitcoin as a bet on the future or a combination of both. Right? Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said the safest scam ever. Facts. Facts. Over that period, the S&P 500 has declined 2%, while the tech-heavy NASDAQ has dropped 3%. Now, how many people were aware, right? I think I put this article in the Discord. Bitcoin is now larger than Amazon. Yeah, shout out to Black Free Thinker. We talked about that in the Discord too. By the way, Coinbase is now part of the S&P 500. Facts. How many people were aware of that? Bitcoin is now, if I'm not mistaken, the 5th largest asset. All right, let's take a look here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got an updated article. They did have one from CoinDesk, but we're going to take a quick look at this one from Bitcoins. Yeah, Coinbase had a data breach. Long as they didn't lose no Bitcoin. Long as they didn't have a Bitcoin breach. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Look at this. Bitcoin soars to a new all-time high above 111,000. Flips Amazon and Google as BlackRock ETF inflows soar. I mean, I don't know what to say. We could say that for later, right? We could say this article for later, or we can make a little video about this article. I don't know. Like I've been kind of bored. You know what I'm saying? I miss y'all, so you know what I'm saying. I might have to make some videos. I might have to start making some videos again. We'll see. I gotta make sure I throw some content up though, just for the shout out to the core crew, right? To the people that keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying? Knowing they ain't getting as much content as they used to, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's YouTube fatigue, right? YouTube fatigue. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says in July, Trump told the audience at a cryptocurrency conference in Nashville, Tennessee, that he wanted to turn the U.S. into the crypto capital of the planet. Trump promised to weaken federal oversight of cryptocurrency and establish the federal government's first strategic Bitcoin reserve. In March, Trump signed an executive order establishing the reserve of digital currencies, saying the move would position the U.S. as a leader among nations in government's digital asset strategy. Now, this is a strategy that many of us have been having for forever. It's called HODL. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. What's good with it, bro? Right? Yeah, listen, I told you guys this, right? I don't have a 401k. I have Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I have Bitcoin. You know what I mean? On Thursday, Trump is set to attend a gala with hundreds of top investors in his meme coin, which an announcement described as an intimate private dinner. That's interesting. I wonder if they had some escorts there. You know what I'm saying? Make it really intimate. The move elicited concern among some critics as possible means of exchanging access to the president for financial gains. I mean, you know, that's what a vote is too, right? Right? Let me ask you guys, isn't that what a vote is? Isn't a vote a means to access a politician for financial gain? Isn't that what it is? Right? A lot of people be outraged about particular politicians because they have particular resistance to particular financial policies, right? So you vote for politicians that you want for access to quote unquote financial means. Ain't that what it is? That's what it is, right? If it is what it is, give me a thumbs up. If it is what it is, like Cameron and Mace, give me a thumbs up. If it's not, give me a thumbs down and let me know what it is. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. I'm not like other YouTubers. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin hits critical mass. Morgan Stanley flags it as reserve grade. What does this mean? What does this mean? Somebody help me. What does this mean? And who is Morgan Stanley? Who is he? I don't know no Morgan Stanley. Who is Morgan Stanley? Why you got two first names? Morgan Stanley flags it as a reserve grade asset. Now, none of the other cryptocurrencies have been flagged as reserve grade assets, which would mean that there's some characteristic differences between Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which would support what I was saying about the difference in movement, right? Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker says price will keep going up. Yeah, I would agree. What we need is we need to reach Satoshi dollar parity. That's what we need to reach. And then we need to get $1 million Satoshi. That's what we need. Bitcoin could be getting closer to having a place at the government table. What do they mean? This article starts the first sentence in denial. You know what I'm saying? This article starts the first sentence in denial. Bitcoin already has a place at the government table. The president is involved in cryptocurrency businesses. What are they talking about? Morgan Stanley states that the world's largest cryptocurrency is now large enough to be held as a reserve asset by the United States. The bank cited Bitcoin's $1.07 trillion market capitalization as one of the reasons why the notion is no longer a fantasy. Facts. Shout out to DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo said Morgan Stanley is a SLC 24A5 owned investment bank. Facts. My man DSB in the building. Shout out to my man DSB. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man DSB for standing on business for 18 months. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Bro, facts. More like the government will have a place at the Bitcoin table. Facts. Shout out to Carlton. They can't deny Bitcoin any longer. They can't, bro, look. They can't deny Bitcoin any longer. Look at what Morgan Stanley said. Morgan Stanley said, look, they said it's at critical mass. You know what I'm saying? The dials is all on red and the gears is shaking and the screws and nuts and bolts is popping off. We're at critical mass. You know what I'm saying? We're at critical mass. We're at critical mass. But there's a catch. Bitcoin still swings too wildly in price. That now, and again, how is somebody explain to me how Bitcoin is swinging wildly in price? What do we consider wild? What day-to-day plus minus spread are we considering quote unquote wild? Now, here's another thing. If Bitcoin has become more stable than the S&P 500, what does that make S&P 500 price swings? What's that make S&P 500 price swings? That volatility makes it a risky bet, especially when compared to other reserve currencies like the dollar, bad example, euro, or the yen. While the numbers show it's growing, Morgan Stanley warned that stability is still a major issue. I mean, I guess. Now, look at this. Market capitalization of largest banks versus Bitcoin. Look at the chart. Look at how much larger Bitcoin is than the JP Morgan Chase. Even Ethereum, right? Ethereum is larger than everyone else except for JP Morgan Chase. And Ethereum is doing crappy right now. It's down 50%. So when Ethereum goes up back to the regular price, it'll be past JP Morgan Chase. Bad investment, right? I mean, my question is, again, what else must we show? You know what I'm saying? What else do we have to show? USI's strategic reserve, all right? With this development, U.S. President Donald Trump went one step ahead. Back in March, the Trump government introduced a new executive order instructing the government to set up a federal institution to hold Bitcoins. It's being discussed similarly as how gold is being deposited with the government in Fort Knox. You know, that same gold that apparently people are having some trouble locating, right? Which, you know, that I guess that's the risk factor that you have with gold. You open up the vault and it might happen to disappear at some point. You know what I'm saying? So we know about this strategic Bitcoin reserve. I don't think we need to, you know, I don't think we need to keep going through this, right? Basically, we got some big names saying what we've been saying forever, but, you know, we will never be made great. So the big people get the recognition, right? And that's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cookie crumbles. Let me ask y'all this. How many people remember the original cookie company? Speaking of cookies, y'all remember the original cookie company? Who had that at the mall when they was growing up? If you never had the original cookie company's butter cookies, or if you never had the original cookie company's sugar cookies, I feel bad for you. I really feel bad for you. You have actually missed out on something amazing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said, remember when everyone's favorite grandpa over in Omaha called Bitcoin rat poison? Yeah. It's rat poison squared. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of rat poison. You know, over $1 trillion. That's a lot of rat poison. Let's take a look, see what they're talking about on Bloomberg real quick, and then we'll hit this article.
So, Mike, the crypto industry is definitely having a moment right now. There's a listing of your company, Galaxy Digital, Coinbase joining the S&P 500. You also have the debut of eToro, and of course, the price of Bitcoin itself on an upswing today, hitting a record $108,000. Do you think the news around?
So you already know, right, that this is an old video clip. This is an old video clip because we hitting at what right now? What price we hitting at right now? What Bitcoin hitting for right now?
The crypto ecosystem is helping to drive the price of Bitcoin. Is what's wagging the dog here?
I think, listen, it started with Larry Fink when he got orange pilled, and the largest asset manager in the world said this is a real asset, in at least Bitcoin, that everyone should be part of, and lots.
Bitcoin is hitting for $111,000. One scunnet $11,000. I'm gonna just leave that there.
Of other companies, Invesco with us, followed suit, right? And so that was kind of round one of institutions coming in. But really, it was the change of the shift of approach from the Gary Gensler SEC to this Trump administration, which has just embraced our industry. And that freed up the animal spirits, both here and abroad. Right, I've had conversations with heads of large sovereign wealth funds that said, if America's buying Bitcoin, we're buying Bitcoin. And so you're seeing like
so now this phenomenon that he's describing here, this cascade, this domino effect, once this begins to happen, which is already happening, it's just happening slowly, right? It's already happening, it's just happening slowly. What happens when this starts to accelerate, when people actually realize that Bitcoin is finite? Because see, the thing is that right now, people, you know, sitting around, you know, they're sitting around scratching their ass like Bitcoin's not finite. You know what I'm saying? You know, we buy something tomorrow. You know, we buy something the next day. We're going to sit around and wait to see what the United States does. They sitting there waiting. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that.
The snowball is rolling downhill. The one thing that could have held it back some, at least the Bitcoin price, would have been if, you know, Scott Bessent and his team and Congress could have really knocked that deficit from 7% of GDP down towards 3%, which was his plan.
Yeah, they acting like they acting like they got time. I think Modern Investor had dropped a video today. Shout out to the Modern Investor. You know what I'm saying? I really like his channel. Y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? But it just be wild, man, like how big YouTubers, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff, and again, shout out to him. No disrespect to him. Great crypto channel. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff that the big YouTubers say, man, like, man, we've been said like months ago. How long ago did we remember? Do you guys remember when I said micro strategies, their amount of purchases is changing how Bitcoin is being produced? Remember I said that a long time ago? And I said there's a situation that's taking place where what micro strategies could do is that they have so many Bitcoin, they could undercut the miners, put the miners out of business, and then buy the mines, because they could actually survive off of Bitcoin while they shut all these miners down by reselling small amounts of Bitcoin back into the market. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said folks will be tripping when you go to your favorite crypto exchange and the buy button is disabled on Bitcoin. Bro, they're not even going to be able to get wrapped Bitcoin. They might not even be able to be getting Ethereum neither. They said that the levels of Bitcoin and Ethereum are so low on exchanges right now. These are the lowest levels they've seen since 2016. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, if anyone asks me to borrow some Bitcoin, my response will be, nah, my brother, you got to buy your own. Nah, you better get your money right. No. No Kanye. You know what I'm saying? No Kanye. You know what I'm saying? No Kanye. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's good with it, Brooklyn Queen? Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. And she just bought y'all lunch and do exactly like she said on this super chat. I appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Good to see you too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Just in the last 3 years, people could have made themselves a decent chunk of change. They could have made themselves a decent chunk of change. You know what I'm saying? Choices, decisions, right? Standard Chartered doubled down on $500,000 Bitcoin target, citing wider range of institutional buyers. Listen, let me ask you guys this. Shout out, we got Fomo Saki in the chat. Shout out to my man Fomo Saki, right? Now, if there's one thing that you'll notice about all the Bitcoin price predictions, they just keep going up. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Facts. Morgan Stanley is an investment bank. Let me ask you guys this question. How often have you heard Morgan Stanley advise their clients to invest in scams? Have you seen that quite often? Has anybody seen that? If you've seen that, let me know. Anybody seen Morgan Stanley advise people to engage in scams? Somebody let me know. Standard Chartered Global Head of Digital Assets Research, Jeffrey Kendrick, highlighted that 13F data showed that several government entities increased MicroStrategy exposure in Q1. Now, what does that mean? Why is that important? They got Walmart car insurance. $39 a month for full coverage is crazy. I don't even try to front and act like you ain't take a look at that at the bottom. $39 a month for full coverage. As soon as I get done with this live stream, I'm about to look that up. $39 for full coverage is crazy. I'm definitely about to look that up as soon as I get off of here. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. Alpha Male Pimp Network says, we simping for crypto. Play the simp song. I got you. Make sure y'all show Alpha Male Pimp Network some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Alpha Male Pimp Network for simping for crypto.
Simping ain't claim to be the key, but he lie about everything, don't need a thing. Said he slept 1,000 women straight up lying. But when it comes to honesty, he's always trying. He posted from not spending the time on the ladies, but we all know he's just fronting like crazy. Said he's a music producer, but it's all fake. Just a mask he wears, and it's all a mistake. Simping water is where the lies, claiming things that he just never tries. What we see through is the signs, plain to see. Simping water, you can't fool me. Simping water, you can't fool me. Simping water, you can't fool me.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Shout out to AB Promotion. Shout out to DJ TJ. DJ TJ. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ TJ. So now check this out. The $500,000 price point is symbolic for several Bitcoin proponents. Ambitious price predictions are commonplace in the world of cryptocurrencies, but they do not often come from prominent traditional financial institutions. Analysts at Standard Chartered predicted in February that Bitcoin would exchange hands for a staggering $500,000 per coin by year 2028. Let me ask you guys this question. How many people are buying Bitcoin now for these $500,000, $1 million prices? If you are, throw some flames in the chat. If you're not, well, let me know what you're buying it for then. Reasoning that the supportive regulatory environment created by the Trump administration would improve access to the asset and bolster demand. Fast forward 3 months, and the British multinational bank is doubling down. All right. So we already know about this wide range of institutional buyers. This is what we're talking about when we talk about this institutional FOMO, right? All of these companies want to be able to brag that they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Now, stop, right? Stop for a minute. Why are these companies putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet? Why? Why? It's so common sense. Why are they doing it? Somebody let me know why these companies are doing this. They just doing it just to do it because it's trendy. It's like, you know, they seen somebody with a certain pair of shoes on. They got to do it. Why are they doing it? Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says a hedge. Yeah, that would be one. I would agree. Hedge against what? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said to get all of the people too afraid to custody their Bitcoin. I think BlackRock got the monopoly on that. Hedge against the dollar. Right. Think about this. If you have a choice, right? If you got a choice and you can hold your value in Bitcoin, which is constantly going up, or hold your value in the dollar, which is going to go down forever, and Bitcoin is going to go up forever. If you hold a significant portion of your money in Bitcoin, what's that going to do to the value of your company? That's going to increase the per share price because it's constantly going up. So again, that's like using Bitcoin as a savings account. I've asked this question for years. Why would you put your money in a CD when the interest rate is only 0.05 APY? That's ridiculous. That's actually losing. You may as well just light your money on fire. Shout out to Tedra. We appreciate you. Think about that, y'all. Why would anybody do that? Why would you put your money in a bank at 0.5% APY interest? And they do that all the time. And you don't have your money between 3 and 12 months. Think about that. So as you got your money sitting in the bank account, you're gaining a couple pennies per year. Let me ask y'all this. If you have a bank account and you got $100 in the bank account with a 0.5 APY, how much money are you going to gain over the year? You never have to worry about no capital gains tax on that. You know what I'm saying? Standard Chartered has suggested in a Tuesday note that it is more confident in its $500,000 Bitcoin price prediction following recent 13F filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission. 13F filings are quarterly reports that institutional investment managers with over $100 million in assets are required to file with the SEC. All right. The latest 13F data from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission supports our core thesis that Bitcoin will reach the U.S. dollar 500,000 level before Trump leaves office, as it attracts a wider range of institutional buyers. Again, we talking institutional FOMO. So what's that going to do to the Bitcoin price? Now, here's the thing, right? We talking institutional FOMO. These institutions, it's not like us trying to scrap together maybe $100, $150 to buy some Bitcoin every week. These are companies that can literally just print money like the United States could print money. They could issue stock or issue bonds the same way MicroStrategy does and get basically unlimited funds to just buy as much Bitcoin as they want. It's not like us where we're on a budget. They're not on a budget. You know what I'm saying? Their biggest roadblock would be shareholders voting against it. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick said the recent filings appeared disappointing at first glance, as the state of Wisconsin Investment Board revealed that it had dumped its 3,400 Bitcoin equivalent holdings in BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF traded fund, the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. Why did they do that? At the same time, Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund investment company only bumped up its 4,700 Bitcoin equivalent holdings in IBIT to 5,000 Bitcoin. All right. So again, these are large numbers of Bitcoin and crypto. These are huge numbers. Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said they not like us, right? They definitely not like us. They got money to burn. You know what I'm saying? They got money to burn. But while now, and again, they keep saying Bitcoin ETF ownership data disappointed. Who did it disappoint? MicroStrategy holding data was very encouraging, Kendrick said. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many of you all have been investing in MicroStrategies? If you've been investing in MicroStrategies, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, give me a thumbs down. Now, we know about MicroStrategies. We don't really need to hit that paragraph, right? So, yeah, I don't think we need to read too much more of this, right? We got the gist. Another legitimate institution is saying that Bitcoin is a good asset, right? Now, I think today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Is today the Bitcoin Pizza Day? Somebody let me know. Bitcoin Pizza Day. The pizza cost $1.1 billion. It's ridiculous. Bitcoin Pizza Day. The $1.1 billion meal that started it all. I know this guy is sick. He's sick. He's sick. Bitcoin Pizza Day, celebrated every year on May 22nd. So, yeah, that answers the question there. Marks the first time Bitcoin was used to buy a physical good. I would go crazy if I was this dude. On this day in 2010, Laszlo Hanziak, a Florida-based programmer, paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 large Papa John's pizzas worth about $41 at the time. 10,000 Bitcoin. He's sick. He got to be at home sick. I bet you he don't want to wake. I bet you he never wants to wake up. Could you imagine in today's world having 10,000 Bitcoin? Like in the past you had. I think about all the little Bitcoins that I've gotten rid of or that I've lost, which is really technically no such thing as a little Bitcoin. No such thing as a little Satoshi. You gotta save the dust. Listen, Bitcoin is like weed. You know anybody that smokes weed and they keep the keef? Y'all know what keef is? Who know what? If you know what keef is, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Bitcoin is like weed. You gotta collect. You gotta keep the keef. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep the keef. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna dump not gonna bang the grinder on the garbage can. You gonna tap the grinder on the table, get the keef out of the bottom of the grinder and put it right on in the blunt and smoke it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta save that Bitcoin keef. He paid $10,000, not even for no good pizza, neither for some nasty Papa John's. What kind of pizza was he getting that cost $41? I mean, shit, $41, $1.1 billion. I bet you that pizza was nasty, just like this one looks on the screen. Look at this pizza. This is ridiculous. What is this? This looks like a gluten-free, topping-free, flavor-free pizza that wasn't free. You know what I'm saying? It cost $1.1 billion. Yeah, see, win, lose, a rug. Know what I'm talking about? They cover the pre-rolls in the keef. Facts. These fools don't know what keef is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say that Bitcoin keef. You know what I'm saying? For real. He didn't order them directly. Instead, he posted on the Bitcoin Talk forum offering the coins, and another user accepted the deal and ordered the pizza for him. That transaction is now legendary in crypto circles because those $10,000 in Bitcoin would be worth over $1.1 billion today. The purchase wasn't instant. It took 4 days for someone to agree to the trade, which shows just how new and uncertain Bitcoin was back then. He had to convince somebody to take his 10,000 Bitcoin. You would never have to do that in today's world. Oh my Lord, it gets worse. It gets worse. I didn't think it was possible. Despite the astronomical value those coins hold today, Laszlo famously said he doesn't regret it. Just, man, you a liar, bro. Get out of here with that mess. He was just excited to prove Bitcoin had real-world utility. Well, shout out to you, man, for taking $1 billion for the team. You know what I'm saying? He was just excited to prove Bitcoin had real-world utility. In fact, he went on to do more dumb stuff. He went on to buy even more pizza using Bitcoin in the following months, reportedly spending over 100,000 Bitcoin on cheesy pizzas. Shout out to AB. AB said, who don't know what keef is? Yo, that's great. 100,000 Bitcoin. How much in dollars is 100,000 Bitcoin? That's one with what? That's one with 10 zeros behind it, right? Man, facts. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Right.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Man, that's wild, man. That is wild. Today, Bitcoin pizza, and they turned it into a holiday. So, like, not only this ain't something that you could put behind you, like, man, I really messed up back then. They done turned it into a holiday. Somebody better check on that boy, make sure he okay. Today, Bitcoin Pizza Day is a global celebration in the crypto world. Enthusiasts commemorate it with memes, tweets, pizza parties, and sometimes by actually paying for pizza in Bitcoin. They crazy just like him. It's a funny, bittersweet reminder of how far the technology has come and how valuable patience or holding can be. Yeah. Nobody wants to be the pizza guy 2.0. Nobody wants that. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin just smashed through a historic milestone, reaching an all-time high of $111,544 on May 21st. And yes, fittingly, it happened a day before Bitcoin Pizza Day. The world's largest cryptocurrency is now valued at over $2.2 trillion, with more than 76 billion in trading volume in the last 24 hours alone, signaling a surge in both retail and institutional interest. All right. In the last year, Bitcoin has climbed nearly 58%. And they talking about prices. They worried about they worried about price stability. Yeah, it's stable going up. Man, lay on the floor, you've been robbed. Player hater. Hey, we got. Hey, listen, we don't even have Bitcoin, the Bitcoin pizza guy. We got Bitcoin pizza people, right? We got Bitcoin pizza people. We got people that just sat around and watched Bitcoin skyrocket to $111,000 and still crying that they broke. They're gonna be lifetime window shoppers. You know what I'm saying? Never copping nothing. It's crazy, man. And it's up more than 25% in just the past month. The latest price pop reflects a broader crypto market rally, which is not true, but okay. Influenced by mainstream adoption, rising geopolitical tensions, and anticipation around the next Bitcoin halving. The coin circulating supply now stands at over 19.86 million, edging closer to its capped maximum of 21 million. Listen, man. Listen. Hey. I. The dollar's over. The dollar's over. Aye. The dollar's over. The dollar's over. Bitty bum. The dollar's over. The dollar's over. Aye. Oh, man. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. Alpha Male Pimp Network says the only way I can see him not feeling bad now is if he was able to re-up what he lost plus some. Somebody need to find out how well he doing today. He did an interview, bro. It's an interview with him. I don't know who it was that interviewed him, maybe 60 minutes. He tried to play it off, man, but he looked like Red talking about when Debo took his chain. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. Make sure y'all show Alpha Male Pimp Network some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Alpha Male Pimp Network for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Everybody like, what happened to that boy? You know what I'm saying? What happened to that boy? He spent that money on a pizza. So what happened to that boy? Now they was talking about disappointing Bitcoin ETFs, right? Now let me ask you guys this question. Would you consider this a disappointment? Would you consider $667.4 million in weekly inflows as a disappointment? Seeing how that's more money than I'll probably ever have in my entire lifetime, I'd be cool with that. I'm cool with it. But I'm cool with a lot of stuff people ain't cool with. A lot of people ain't cool with people getting rich. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying?
It's time now for today's strategy session. The crypto rally sending Bitcoin to fresh record highs. But can the momentum continue? Joining us now, we've got Matt Hogan, who is the Bitwise CIO. Matt, great to speak with you once again here. Just take us into what's really prompted this most recent thrust that we've seen within Bitcoin, the leading cryptocurrency right now by market cap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here. We have
He said the leading cryptocurrency right now by market cap, bro. Ever since cryptocurrency came out, Bitcoin has always only ever been the only cryptocurrency that has always led the entire time. What are you talking about? Let me ask you guys this question. How many of you guys get frustrated listening to some of these people attempt to talk about cryptocurrency? When I hear some of these people talk about cryptocurrency, it's like when I listen to like younger people try to remix, you know what I'm saying? Like when they try to remix songs that was made like in our era or like our parents' era, like stick with your purple dreadlocks, you know what I'm saying? Stick with your skinny jeans. Leave our stuff alone. Leave our stuff alone. It's the same way with Bitcoin, man. Leave our stuff alone. Let the YouTube nerds deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carl just saying maybe he has some inside information. When we say inside information, quote unquote, are we talking about a brain?
two forces working together to push Bitcoin to new all-time highs, and I do think that rally will continue. One is that institutions are moving into the crypto space. We've seen over $8 billion in inflows into Bitcoin ETFs in the last 30 days.
Did you hear that? $8 billion into Bitcoin ETFs in the last 30 days. People on record have factually stated Bitcoin is a scam. They put a clap into his Bitcoin. Oh man, they walk up to the exchange acting like they're down with the team called BTC.
Currency right now by market cap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here. We have two forces working together to push Bitcoin to new all-time highs, and I do think that rally will continue. One is that institutions are moving into the crypto space. We've seen over $8 billion in inflows into Bitcoin ETFs in the last 30 days. That's new demand against fixed supply.
Now, I want you guys to understand this, right? And follow me here, right? Like Snoop Dogg said, follow me, but don't lose your grip, right? Now, if people will sit there and continuously say Bitcoin is a scam and then never readdress it, right? Like, because Trump was one of the Bitcoin is a scam people, right? Which is interesting, you know what I'm saying? You know, people who don't like Trump sounding like Trump, right? But that's another story for another day, right? Bitcoin is a scam. Now, where do you go back and address that? Nah, we're just going to continue to gaslight and we're not going to address it. So now, if that's how you treat a piece of information that you were way off the mark on, how can you trust any information that any people say? How can you trust it? If I was wrong about something, I'll just tell you about something else that I was right about and not address what I was wrong about. How does that work? I'll tell you how it works. It brings you a lot of money, and it brings you a lot of subscribers, and it brings you a lot of support. So, you know, I never really feel sorry for people that's afraid of the dark. And the reason why I'm never afraid of people that are afraid of the dark is because they create their own monsters. They create the monster under the bed. So since you made your own monster, I can't feel sorry for you. That's your creation. That's what you did. That's your art. You know what I'm saying? That's your craft. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how that goes.
And that pushes prices up. But at the same time, we're getting a lot of unintentional support from Washington. And I think the market today is reacting to the fact that the government has sort of said it's on board to grow deficits, to print more money, to expand the fiscal debt. And that's forcing people to look outside of fiat currencies to an alternative. Bitcoin is that alternative. I think this is the start of a major move. I think we're going to significantly exceed the previous all-time highs, and we're en route for another great year in Bitcoin.
Significantly exceed the all-time highs. Now, remember, right? This is the quote-unquote information that we don't be having access to. right? This is the information that be getting kept from us, right? Let me ask y'all this. What kind of password did I have to put in to get this? How much did I have to pay to look at this video? I'm just saying.
Hey, Matt, it's Julie here. This has long been sort of one of the arguing points for Bitcoin, right? In terms of what you were just talking about. But the folks we're talking to don't think that the movement we're seeing in treasuries, for example, or the concern about deficits is going to be terribly sustained. It hasn't been sustained in the past. So what gives you the optimism that that flow is going to be sustained into Bitcoin this time around, if that is indeed one of the reasons why?
Yeah, look, I think something may have started to break with investors' long-term appetite for debt, right?
Facts. Shout out to Carlton. It costs free 99. It's free 99. Facts. Shout out to AB. AB said, what did we say? 250,000 by the end of the year. We said that, right? Yep. Facts. Bro, like I said, it gets to a point where all of the live streams, they're all the same. They're all the same. We've been saying this stuff forever. You know what I mean? We've been saying this stuff forever, and it's and it's interesting because it's not that things change. It's literally in part that people just don't listen. Right. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said you use the unhide from plain sight force ability. Facts. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
We have the 30-year over 5%. We see what's going on in Japan. I think people are starting to realize
real
that
talk, though,
the U.S. government,
right? Real talk. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. Because I know everybody in here, I know you guys' crypto wallets are looking nice. Even though the crypto market is not doing good, but Bitcoin is doing extremely well, I know that your crypto wallet is doing good. I'm sure your other investments are doing good too. Now, I want you guys to understand something, right? With your crypto journey, do you see the significant chunk of change that you built for yourself in just 3 years? I guarantee you, listen, I guarantee you, and I'm not trying to get in y'all pockets or pocket watch or do none of that. Let me ask y'all this. How many people's cryptocurrency portfolio that they started working on since we started doing this is bigger than or getting close to what they got in their 401k? I wouldn't be surprised if it's most people. Now, think about that. Think about that. It boggles the mind. It boggles the mind how people can, you know what I'm saying? Like, just I don't care about my future. Well, if you don't care about your future, why engage in anything? What are you engaging in? You don't care about your future. It's bizarre to me. And again, it's interesting, right? It's not just me that says that. You listen to other cryptocurrency content creators, you listen to the Modern Investor. Modern Investor says this all the time. The people that Bitcoin is made for are not even buying the Bitcoin. But again, this is what I keep telling people. The entire world could completely reconfigure itself, and it'll reconfigure itself a million times, and it'll still be the same world. It'll still be the same world. The world is correct. It doesn't matter that somebody came with a disruptive technology. The technology can only be disruptive if the people that it was meant for use it to disrupt. I think the Bitcoin experiment validates that the financial order of operations, the rich people and the elites and the people that have all of the money, they're supposed to have it. There may be a few outliers, and those outliers will be the new people that get money when cryptocurrency and Bitcoin really have a big explosion. But as far as the people that have the money, the Bitcoin experiment, just like the C19, it just reinforces what you observe about people. See, shout out to my man Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said, I'm up damn near 20% on my Cash App, Hood Toshi wallet. See, you can get those Bitcoin rebates with the Coinbase credit card too. I think you can get them with Robinhood too. Think about that. Think about that. Bitcoin was created in 2008 as a response to the financial collapse and the bank bailouts, and how there can't be any faith put in the financial system. And the people who shouldn't be putting their faith in the financial system maintain their faith in the financial system and let the financial system take over Bitcoin. I don't ever want to hear anybody. I don't ever want to hear. I'm not entertaining any complaints about anything from anybody. Not entertaining any complaints. I don't want to hear it. People have told on themselves. You know what I'm saying? You have to lose all sympathy for anyone who does not have the tenacity to maintain their own oxygenation. They deserve no sympathy. Zero. And the Bitcoin experiment proved exactly that. It's no fair that BlackRock has all this money. Are you serious? BlackRock buys the Bitcoin and holds it. People take the Bitcoin and buy a pizza with it. Remember that. Remember that. People will sit there and say, oh, you're so mean. You're so mean. Hey, it's a cold world. But I got a jacket. You know what I'm saying? And I got heat. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said, easy on the force etherized, Darth. Right. Shout out to Shamika. What's good with it? Right. I mean, like I said, man, I don't know what to say. Think about it. You could have just done an experiment, right? You could do an experiment. Well, let me see what this is about. I'm going to put in $100. I'm going to recheck what I got going on in 12 months. Okay, after this 12 months, oh, yo, you know what I'm saying? I got $140. Okay, let's maybe look into this a little bit more. Not even an experiment. Not even an experiment. The people who have the money are the ones that are supposed to have the money. If you ask me, Bitcoin proves it. It's an interesting scenario with Bitcoin, right? All the people that have Bitcoin, they just put they get flushed out the market. They just put the Bitcoin back into the hands of BlackRock and Fidelity and Grayscale. Makes you wonder what happened if some, other people got a sudden inflow of assets. Would they get flushed out too? Based on the larger population's behavior in response to Bitcoin, it would be an anomaly to me if there wasn't a quote unquote another flush out. I'm just saying.
It has given up on the idea of substantial cuts. Deficits are going to continue ad infinitum, and that means the long-term value of the dollar is in question over time. People want alternatives. I think that's adding.
So now here's my question. Shout out to everybody watching. I'm curious, right? I'm curious. What is everyone's plan to maintain their purchasing power? How do you plan on maintaining your purchasing power? We're seeing these things in the news, right? The dollar is decreasing in value. The bond rating got downgraded. Food is going to increase in price. All these economists are saying this. What are people doing to protect themselves from the coming inflation? What are they doing? Okay, Bitcoin is a scam. Okay, minus Bitcoin, what are people doing? Are the Bitcoin is a scam people even, are they buying gold? What are they doing? Are they buying real estate? What are they doing? Shout out to AB. AB says, Rob, would you say that people don't know what money is? No. I would say that people know exactly what money is. I would say that people know exactly what money is. You know what I'm saying? I would say people don't understand what the world is. Carlton said they're waiting for the government to save them. Shamika said apparently the elite have different plans because they are relocating to their bunkers. Yeah, we should be buying some bunkers. People should get you some land. You know what I'm saying? Get you some land out in Montana. Get you some land out in, the Missouri Ozarks. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere where some fresh water. But, I don't know, man. Shout out to Tia. What's good with it, Tia? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, I think people don't understand the flow of currency. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen. Why save them? You know what I'm saying? Why save them? You know what I'm saying?
I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken.
Why save them? You know what I'm saying? Now, shout out to Shamika. Shamika says their goal is to delete the so-called middle class. If you ask me, they don't need to do that because the middle class effectively does a good job of deleting itself. You know what I'm saying? The middle class is effectively doing a good job of deleting itself. So they don't really have to do too much. All they got to do is just sit there and just put the bucket out and let the people in the middle class throw the money in the bucket. And a lot of times that's what people do. And so they just collect it. And then next thing you know, the middle class be like, we ain't got no money. And then what happens? The rich people just got a lot richer. Then they say the rich get rich and the poor get poorer. That's because the poor want to give away their money. Is that like vibranium? Shout out to Black. Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker said they're buying and holding victimum while getting high on hopium and not buying any ethereum. You know what I'm saying? You got to hold the assets. Yeah, shout out to Shamika. It is about to be Hunger Games out here. Right now, we're already witnessing corporate Hunger Games for Bitcoin. We're witnessing that. And again, that's something else. Do you guys remember when I did this stream and I was like, it's about to be like a crazy video game with all the bosses fighting each other? MicroStrategies versus the USA and China and BlackRock versus the entire world. Everybody buying up the Bitcoin. Remember when I said that? I said that like last year. But when you don't get made great, stuff flies under the radar. And then somebody says, hey, Rob, did you hear this? Some shit that you said a year ago. Of course I heard it because I said this shit. You know what I'm saying? There has not been any change in my message at all. what there has been is a more focused observational standpoint. You know what I'm saying? The Bitcoin experiment proves that people are listen, people give their money to the people that they want to be rich. If you want yourself to be rich, then you give the money to yourself. People give the money to the people they think should be rich. Stop thinking everyone except for you should be rich. Too late. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, maybe next time, right? I'm not mad at it. Hey, you will get there. Shout out to Tia. Tia said, I got 3 zeros behind a decimal point. I want to disappear in Bitcoin. I'm not mad at it. Just keep going. Little bit at a time, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. And even if them zeros don't disappear, the value's still gonna go up. Shout out to Shamika. Shamika said, Klaus Schwab said you will own nothing and be happy. And the new head of the World Economic Forum says that having water isn't a human right. You're gonna think this is you're gonna think I'm crazy, right? But I agree 100% with them. I agree that most people will own nothing and be happy. We can see that now, right? Look at the use of credit. The use of credit, the use of mortgages, that's proof that people are perfectly fine with owning nothing and are extremely happy about it, right? And I don't believe that water is a human right. I don't believe that it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe air is either. You know what I'm saying? Look, shout out to Alonda. What's good, Alonda? Alonda said, meanwhile, everyone is focused on Just Pearly things and Hawk 2 are sad. That's hilarious. What? I don't even know what Just Pearly thing long face self been doing. What's she been up to? And Hawk 2, speaking of Hawk 2, she had a scam coin. You know what I'm saying? Her scam coin crashed. She should be getting looked into by the SEC. You know what I'm saying? She should be getting looked into by the SEC, and she should be getting looked into for STDs. Oh man, shout out to you, Alonda. Good to see you. Make sure y'all show Alonda some love. Those are flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Alonda for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Yeah, shout out to Shamika, the movie Waterworld. Yeah, that was that movie with them people with like the 3 aliens with the leather jackets and the hats, right? And they was allergic to water. And it was one guy who had like the telepathic abilities. I think they in that movie called it queuing or something like that. But I need to watch that movie again. That was actually a really good movie. So let's see what they talking about here. Let's see what they shout out to my man Grind and Motivate. Let's see what they talking about. Let's see what they talking about. Bitcoin investment products continue to attract significant capital as the leading cryptocurrency approaches record territory once again. Well, it's already beyond record territory, right? On May 19th, U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded a substantial 667.40 million in net inflows, marking the 4th consecutive day of positive flows into these investment vehicles. Look at this. Here go all the inflows. BlackRock's inflow, 305.9 million. Fidelity's 188.1 million. This is insane. Several ETFs, including Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, Franklin Bitcoin ETF, Bitwise Bitcoin and Ether equal weight strategy, and BlackRock Bitcoin and Ethereum equal weight strategy, showed no significant flows for the period. Now look, what's going on with the Ethereum price, right? Because the Ethereum price is not making any sense. Mel Gibson was in Waterworld. I got to go back and watch it. Yeah, air isn't a human right. There's organisms that can live without air. There's anaerobic bacteria. You know what I'm saying? And there's not an abundance of air, you know what I'm saying, in environments that are not Earth. And it's not even air, you know what I'm saying, on the majority of Earth. The majority of Earth is water. Saline, salt water, not even fresh water that people can drink. People got to work for that. Get that salt up out of there. Get that salt and that chlorine out the water. You know what I'm saying? And then you can drink it. That's there. You earned you some water. If you ask me, life isn't a human right. Life is not a human right. You know what I'm saying? That, if you ask me, see, I'm telling you, I've come to these conclusions by observing people. You know what I'm saying? Alpha Male Pimp Network says xenomorphs can live without air. Listen, anaerobic bacteria can live without air. That's why they call it anaerobic. You know what I'm saying? Anaerobic bacteria can live without air. Now, you know, it depends on when you say air. What are we saying air or are we saying oxygen, right? You know what I'm saying? There's that whole thing, right? Shout out to Patrick. What's good with it, bro? But yeah, man, people not entitled to nothing, man. People shouldn't get nothing. What it shows is that when people have things, when majority of people have things, they don't appreciate them. They just let them. They waste it. Look at how many people. Look. We don't even know what, like, people gaslight themselves with religion and mythology and all of that, but we don't know what goes on after your metabolism ceases, after death. We don't know what happens, right? Some people can say that they do, but they don't have no physical evidence of that. Nobody's ever died, been buried, decayed into the ground, and then reassembled themselves and came back and said, I've been to the other side, like the Lord Marshall on Chronicles of Riddick, right? But with that element of the unknown, knowing how valuable and finite life as it relates to time is, people waste their time all the time. So why should they have it as a right? Why should they have it as a right? I can't wait till I become an elite, man. I got so many different ideas on how to control the population in an efficient way. I'm gonna be one of them bad guys that has a nice $10,000 robe, and I'm gonna cut all my braids off, and I'm gonna have a shiny bald head and just walk around with my hands folded like I'm a monk. And anytime anybody asks me anything, my answer to it is always gonna be, is that truly necessary? Can I have something to eat? Is that truly necessary? Can I have some air? Is that truly necessary? Here's a better question. Are you truly necessary? Think about it, man. Why do people waste their time? People waste their time. They waste their money. Yeah, I'm gonna be dressed like a monk. Listen, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have one of them. I'm a matter of fact. You know who would actually make an actual perfect elite? The saint and the sinner, man. Marquette, them shirts that Marquette be wearing, and the bald head, man. Like, man, bro would be a perfect evil dictator. You know what I'm saying? And Marquette is smart too. You know what I'm saying? So he would be using all the big words and everything, and he'd be calm and poised with the flat affect. Like, man, it'd be a wrap. Oh man, shout out to the Saint Center too, man. Saint Center, I did a reaction video to him way early in my YouTube career, man. And he actually watched it like back in the day and commented on it, man. Shout out to him, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like Satan Center. I like Satan Center, man. He's funny. He's smart. He's a smart dude, man. And he's funny. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I don't like old boy, though. I don't like Cooley. You know, they got the channel together called the Commission. But I mess with Satan Center, though. You know what I'm saying? Satan Center, Cooley, lucky Satan Center decided to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm a, you know, we gonna rock out, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to man, listen, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen Brooklyn Queen said, no lies told. There will be no more society left with him ruling. Now it would be society. It would just be all women, though. You know what I'm saying? It'd be all women and shit. You know what I'm saying? And Marquette would be like, it's just me and my bitches in society. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's society right there. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta get like Marquette, and they'll be glad to cook for me. They'll be glad to do my laundry. You know what I'm saying? Because of the royalty that is Marquette Divine. You gotta get like Marquette. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say it like Marquette. You know what I'm saying? He had the females reading his newspaper for him and everything. They'd be the only people left on the planet, but it should be nice for him. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the Ethereum ETF market, while showing more modest activity, also demonstrated positive sentiment with a total net inflow of 13.66 million on the same day. Notably, none of the 9 available Ethereum ETFs experienced outflows during this period, suggesting stable investor confidence in the second largest cryptocurrency. Shout out to my man Fomosaki. Y'all remember Fomosaki in the Discord? He said, I don't know who buying Ethereum. Remember what we said? The whales. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Right. Third person all the time. Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Marquette Divine is your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? I crushed Turtle Man. You know what I'm saying? Marquette crushed Turtle Man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say it like Marquette. Oh man. Bitcoin price action and market dominance. Let me ask you guys this question. If Bitcoin, I really want, help me do some math. Listen, if one Bitcoin going to $1 million, right? If one Bitcoin is $1 million and $1 million is larger than some coins' entire market caps, how is there going to be an altcoin season? Somebody do the math on that. How will there ever be an altcoin season again? Because remember, altcoin season occurs when altcoins have greater than 50% dominance in the cryptocurrency market. I think by the most commonly accepted definition of altcoin season. So how can an altcoin season occur with Bitcoin at such high prices? Now, when I'm saying how can an altcoin season occur, that doesn't mean that altcoins are not going to perform. Right? That's not what that means. What that means is the traditional definition of altcoin season. How will it happen mathematically? You know what I'm saying? How will it happen mathematically? Bitcoin price action and market dominance. Bitcoin is currently trading at $105,935, which is higher now, showing continued strength as it moves toward an all-time high of 110,000, which, as we know, it's passed. Right? It's passing the all-time highs for now every day. Do you guys remember when Arthur Hayes said that Bitcoin was moving into up-only mode? How many people remember that? If you guys remember when Arthur Hayes said Bitcoin is moving into up-only mode, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. The asset has maintained its upward trajectory despite broader market fluctuations, reinforcing investor confidence in its long-term prospects. Bitcoin's dominance in the cryptocurrency market has increased to 63%, representing a 3% rise over the past 6 days. This growing dominance comes as the alternative cryptocurrency market has declined by 6.2%. During the same period, with the total altcoin market capitalization now standing at 1.2 trillion. Shout out to Tia. Tia said, are altcoins capped at a certain number of coins produced? Some are and some aren't. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. Like Dogecoin is not capped. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, again, for the most part, this is all stuff that we talked about. This is all stuff that we saw on the horizon. And now we're looking at it. Now, here's my question for you guys. Where is Bitcoin's price going next? Where is Bitcoin's price going next? That's what I want to know from people. Listen, shout out to y'all, man. Hey, I just started buying some BlackRock stock. I told you, man. When I say something, man, I'm not kidding. I told you I'm team elites because I'm about to be one of them. I'm about to be sitting at the table with the little alien. You know what I'm saying? Definitely about to be sitting at the table with the little alien. Hold on a second. Let me see something. Real quick, y'all. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, do me a favor. Take a moment. Smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. Now, here goes my question. How many of y'all want to stream tomorrow? Because y'all know I don't be feeling like doing this no more. I just had we had to cover Bitcoin. Like I said, shout out to the members. You know what I'm saying? I had to hit my little, I got to make sure I throw some content up there for the members because y'all paying. You know what I'm saying? I can't just leave y'all out there hanging. But y'all know I really don't be on this no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't really be feeling like doing all this. But Bitcoin is popping right now, and I do want to go over some stuff. And I want to go over some stuff that's not related to Bitcoin too. Now, I want to talk about this. BlackRock's Larry Fink sees trillions of dollars idle as volatility persists. Let's stop right there. What's going on here? What is this? Why is all these trillions of dollars idle? Shout out to Tia. No problem. I appreciate y'all. And listen, and again, a lot of times, just because I'm not active on YouTube, every couple days I'm active in the Discord. So make sure, because the Discord is part of social media too. Make sure y'all join the Discord and be active in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? We be talking junk, trolling, having a good time in there, throwing around some good information about crypto. I appreciate you. Shout out to Tia. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. I appreciate y'all. My thing is, I just don't be, you know what I'm saying? I don't be on it all like that. But like I said, shout out to the members. I got you. Y'all know I'm not gonna leave y'all with no content. I'm gonna throw something. I'm gonna throw something together. You know what I'm saying? Because I appreciate y'all. But make sure y'all join the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is important. Remember, how many of you all remember the stream where we read the BlackRock memorandum to its customers? Do you guys remember that when we read the BlackRock memorandum to its clients? What did they say in that memorandum? What did they say? Now, look at this. This is from 9 days ago, May 13th, 2025, right? BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says tens of trillions of dollars of financial firepower is sitting idle in cash amid trade war worries and uncertainty over the United States economy, whose deficits are beginning to spook investors. Okay? What's the implications of that? What do they mean right there? Right. Shout out to AB. Right. I'm going to be on the alien's couch like Rick James. Bro, facts. like when Dave Chappelle was president. Like when Chappelle was the president, remember? Look at this. There is 12 trillion euros sitting in bank accounts in Europe. In the United States, there's 11 trillion sitting in money market funds. When there is uncertainty, you are going to keep more and more money in cash. And that is what we witnessed. Think told delegates at the Saudi U.S. Investment Forum in, how do you say this? Riyadh on Tuesday. Now, just look at the type of money they playing with. They over there talking. They over there talking to the real oil people. Not, and I ain't talking about Diddy. Shout out to Pat. Look, I'm on today. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mama Zeke. What's good with it? I am. Look, I'm on today. You know, Patrick on my head. Patrick on my head. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, Rob tired of people biting his style, not getting his credit. Bro, facts. Listen, like I said, I've been saying we back in play. We in play. Now, you know, that's Black Light Revelations original slang. So when you hear people saying that, that came from me first. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patrick. Patrick said, man, if you don't get your ass back on here, look, be active in the Discord. But I might actually Riyadh. Okay, good looking, Mama Zeke. I might do another stream tomorrow so I could try to wrap up some of this stuff. See, the only problem that happened is when you be trying to do these streams, like it's like, okay, I'll finish this stuff up tomorrow. Today's news becomes old news, and then it'd be a whole bunch of other stuff, and you're like, well, I'm gonna talk about this new stuff. Then you don't get a chance to finish all that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna try to though. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna start. I might start making some videos again too. You know what I'm saying? I just don't be feeling like it. Does it for real? Like I just do not be feeling like it. The veteran financier who runs the world's largest asset manager made the comments shortly after U.S. President Donald Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia to kick off a 4-day tour of the Gulf region. Now, let me ask y'all this question. When Trump went to Saudi Arabia, do y'all think that Bitcoin came up? How many people think that Bitcoin came up in the discussion when Trump went to Saudi Arabia? I think it did. I think it definitely did. Besides the kingdom, Trump will be taking in Qatar. I don't know why. Is this a spotlight? It says Trump will be taking. Maybe they mean talking. Besides the kingdom, Trump will be talking in Qatar and the United Arab Emirates with the spotlight on economic deals, as well as various security crises, ranging from war in Gaza to the threat of escalation over Iran's nuclear program. Okay. Think said many global investors were still overweight on the U.S. despite market ructions. I don't know what that is, caused by Trump's proposed revamp of global trade ties. A modest reallocation. Look at this. A modest reallocation away from U.S. assets had benefited Europe and stoked increasing investor interest in the Gulf region, India, and Japan, he said. This is Larry Fink saying this. This is Larry. Now, I want y'all to take a moment. What does this mean? What does this mean? Let me ask you that. Let's ask another question. Does Bitcoin count as a U.S. asset? If Bitcoin is a U.S. asset, give me a thumbs up. If Bitcoin is not a U.S. asset, give me a thumbs down. Is Bitcoin a U.S. asset? Look at this. I think we are going to be in a period of uncertainty, and we are going to start focusing on the role of deficits, which are not part of any conversations, he told the event, which was also attended by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Saudi Finance Minister Mohammed Al-Jadaan and Investment Minister Khalid Al-Falih. Pause. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, I'll gladly pay you today for a stream tomorrow. Okay, Brooklyn Queen. You'll get one after I get my can of spinach. You know what I'm saying? I got to get my can of collard greens. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization. And she bought y'all lunch. And I think we 2 out of 10 on the goal. So that's what's good, man. Shout out to y'all. We 2 out of 10 on the goal.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat. In Springfield.
So don't push me. Ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the... Said it was some Haitians somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels. Have you seen Garfield? Eat the cat. Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is coughing up like a hairball. Eat the cat. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger. Helping I'm pulling up like CrossFit. Yeah. The seas where they said Hello Kitty. But it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing in the where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he took with that? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And they the cat got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came.
Shout out to you, Brooklyn Queen. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Tia. Tia says, I think Bitcoin is a world asset, but we temporarily control it. I think we got a large amount of it. And yeah, I would agree. It's definitely a world asset. I would agree. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network. If you use a computer, just go to the Discord website and join Discord. You know what I'm saying? The link should be pinned in the chat. But if the link's not working, let me know and I'll refresh it and put another one in there. So yeah, this is what I want to know. What does this mean? Look at this. I think we are going to be in a period of uncertainty, and we are going to how much debt the United States has. Now look at this. Let's be clear. The U.S. deficits are an issue. The U.S. economy needs a 3% growth rate to overcome its deficits. And I do believe what President Trump is trying to do is consistent with what the kingdom has been trying to do. They are trying to create more public-private investing, Fink said. Okay? He also praised Saudi Arabia's 2030 economic transformation program on Tuesday, saying the kingdom was building a diversified economy that had the potential to become a 21st century global leader. Yeah, shout out to AB. Them Discord alerts to drop. Amid lower oil prices and rising costs, some of the kingdom's lofty ambitions for Vision 2030, including a futuristic city in the desert, have been scaled back to prioritize projects essential to hosting global sporting events over the next decade. Steven Schwartzman, CEO of private equity firm seen in the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's program, but urged the country to remain on track. Now, Blackstone is different from BlackRock, right? Now, here's my question. How many people have ever heard of Blackstone? If you've ever heard of Blackstone, give me a thumbs up. If you have not heard of Blackstone, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell. Also, please share the stream to your social media. You are going to accomplish a lot of these things, but like all great visions, some of them won't happen, and you can't get discouraged because that is nature of major change, he said at the event. Assets anymore. Okay? You cannot put your faith in U.S. assets anymore. That is literally what they said in their memorandum to their customers. That's the same thing that Grayscale said. So now, if that's the case, they're putting their money. Where are they putting their money at? Let me know what you guys think. All right. So yeah, we're gonna try to bust some of this out tomorrow. We're gonna talk about some cryptocurrency related companies tomorrow. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin and that all-time high. Now listen, how many people have been buying SuiSwap? If you've been buying SuiSwap, give me a thumbs up. If you have not, give me a thumbs down. I would at the very least, if you haven't been buying Sui, I would at the very least take a look at it. I'd at the very least take a look at it. See what you see. Let me know what you see. Other ones that I'm thinking about, like buying, is Lido DAO. And I'm gonna probably get some more Tezos while it's down, for real, because Tezos is going to eventually go back up to $1. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, I started investing in BlackRock today. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at other cryptos. Like I said, I might start doing some videos. I might start doing some videos. If I do the videos, they're probably gonna be like shorter than the old videos that I did, and they're not gonna have as many effects because I'm not trying to be funny, man. But I'm about to be getting that stuff out the way. You know what I'm saying? About to be getting it out the way. So shout out to everybody who watched, man. I appreciate you guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're not subscribed to my other channels, take a moment and do that. Let me shout out the stream sponsors. Make sure y'all show the stream sponsors some love because as y'all know, without them, you know what I'm saying, ain't no streams. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show AB Promotions some love. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions again. Shout out to Miss Nisi. I appreciate you, Miss Nisi. Shout out to my man, Win Loser Rug. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to my man, DSB. I definitely appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Definitely appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to my man, Alpha Male Pimp Network. Make sure y'all show my man, Alpha Male Pimp Network, some love. Shout out to Alpha Male Pimp Network again. Shout out to Tarek. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Alonda. Definitely appreciate you, Alonda. Shout out to my man, Patrick. Y'all see my man, Patrick on my head. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Got to hit Brooklyn Queen with the again. Hey, look, it's going to be a lot of people sounding like this dude.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
It's going to be a lot of people sounding like that. You know what I'm saying? But as always, ladies and gentlemen,
yeah, hey, okay, I'm fresh up out the package. Time I did, I pay my dues. Affiliated to this paper, I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping out just to unfamiliar coordinates. Hopped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red is not one trip. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated, forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, you're right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Game recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay. I'm versatile and my slang is different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound. Got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron. Better run for it, run before I catch you. Look it out, ball it, block it. Trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life. Don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing. You do best not to test it. Yeah, you're right. Real all in my blood supply. Get ball up top, finna make a play. I catch the lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice and I meant it right.
My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know, co-signer, no co-pilot. They pip-tiles, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign.
Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds.